Friday Fitness on a Monday. I'm recording this for a second time because it was too quiet. I'm so irritated. I'm going to edit out the sound of me preparing food while I do this. So, as you can see, this is a pretty fucking weird exercise. This is a reverse clamshell. Now, a clamshell is where you lay on your side, pair your ankles together, and you move your knees apart. And typically it's done with a band. As we know, bands aren't the ideal way to exercise because you have the most tension at the most contraction, and you actually want the most tension at the most stretch. So I was always trying to come up with ways to make clamshells and reverse clamshells, which as you can see here, where you put your knees together and move your ankles apart, to make them a weighted exercise. And originally I did this with 5 pounds. I accidentally made it 10 pounds one day, and I was like, that's actually better. I'd rather fail in each set and work really hard and get the stimuli than be kind of bored for most of a set and just fail at the end. And it makes it easier to switch quickly to the next exercise, which is a standing fire hydrant. Typically, I'll talk more about the fire hydrant when we get there. You notice how I alternate quickly by just using my feet. It's just a thing you get used to. And now obviously you couldn't do this on the flat ground because the weight would be on the ground for way too long. Hence this Zepp Brannigan-esque setup where I'm on a box and a bench so that the weight can dip down and create a big stretch and create a really satisfying, difficult movement. Like, you can see how hard I'm working. Despite this looking like it's probably a very easy exercise, it can absolutely destroy you. Muscles in my back don't look too bad.
That's how you get spiders in your pussy.
If you lay like this and you have the slightest bit of belly fat, it's going to look like a massive Zepp Brannigan belly. There's just nothing to be done about that. And who cares? Like, looking good while you exercise is just as important as looking good after you exercise. And we're so able to curate how people see us most of the time anyways. Like, the fact that these are just raw workouts is important. I don't want them to be glamorous or like I'm putting on a show. It is just an honest view of my workout routine so that anyone who wanted to could just take it. And granted, I do have a lot of unique equipment that I've made and collected and a lot of unique exercises, but it is all doable. Everything came from the hardware store or Winners or Canadian Tire, which is a hardware store, so I said hardware store twice. Yeah, you see me start to like fail pretty quickly in these. 10 pounds is a lot for this movement. And then I fail so hard at getting the next exercise ready in time. I just mentally committed to it so that I wouldn't have to edit the video more. But I absolutely, like, not hard at all to pause the timer in real life and pause this video of a timer as well. But c'est la vie. I missed like 20 seconds on one side. And so you have the standing fire hydrant. What you can do is, a classic fire hydrant is on your hands and knees. It's called a fire hydrant because you look like a dog at a fire hydrant. You can do this traditionally as well. You just kneel on the box and put the dip bar next to the box. You'd have a harder time turning around in 10 seconds. But easily doable, still doable. I just prefer standing because it also works your standing leg a lot. It's really important not to rotate with these. The box helps not necessarily much with balance, if you could balance on anything, but keeping my elbows flat stops me from rotating my shoulders ever, so that I'm always using my glutes to move my leg. I'm not just rotating at my core. Because you can cheat these no problem and not even know you're cheating. Which is also why I wasn't worried about losing those 20 seconds. Because these get so exhausting anyways, I keep stopping for just a breath and to let the tension off for a second. so little to say. It's such a boring workout to watch. Not that thrilling of a workout to do. The star of the workout today is split squats, which are coming up in block 2. But yeah, the reason people skip leg days is that they're the most boring days. But you shouldn't. You should absolutely take care of your feet and your hips and your legs as best you can, because your relationship to the ground is going to be your posture. It's going to have so many impacts up the chain. And if you are elderly and you break a hip, you are likely dead in a couple of years. It is such an indicator that you are fucked if you shatter your hip. So strengthening the muscles around your hips, vital in your young age, so that they're there to protect you in your old age. Okay, setting up 4 forward box leans. You're going to see side box leans later in the week. This is the forward box lean. And my biggest piece of advice is, if you are doing this and it doesn't feel good, move the fucking box. I had so many clients be like, is this where it is? It doesn't feel good. Then move it. There is a spot on your quads where it is like the most fat and the most muscle, and you will be perfectly comfortable doing these, and you'll feel your hamstrings, your glutes, and your spine, your spinal erectors, working, and you won't crush your junk or hurt your knees. There is a right spot for it. It's fine. It's fine to adjust it and keep adjusting until you find it. You just want your feet to be like flat and safe against the wall. That's what matters most. Ready for the upcoming split squats. it is okay if you want to straighten your arms and have the weight get closer to the ground. If that feels like a better stretch on your low back, that's perfectly fine. I prefer to stay straight, and I imagine this as a deadlift. I imagine I am coming up from a deadlift and anti-hinging and really driving my quads into the box so that I really feel it in my glutes. And you can do this with a weight behind you. You can do this body weight. If you have a different shape of this or a conventional hyperextension machine, yeah, you can round way forward. You can flex your spine as much as you're comfortable with under a load that's a little bit less than you think you need, just for safety's sake. Like, it's important to work vulnerable areas, not neglect them because they're vulnerable, but respect them as well. My glowing torso. Absolutely losing the normal face game, including the overactive traps game. Playing the long dead air game. Okay, sprinter squats coming at you straight from the underground. Find your good distance. Enjoy your good music. You are split squatting across the universe. You can see how goddamn hard I'm working. You always get up like you're getting one more rep, even just at body weight. You can already see the impact it's having on me, and I inevitably end up sitting down for the entire rest period in these kind of things. This is why we skip leg day. Eating spicy noodles now.
That's how you get spiders in your pussy.
I'm so bored of watching myself work out. Like I said, you can really see the amount of effort that goes into goddamn sprinter squats. And I've always called them sprinter squats. Technically, there's a lot of variations on split squats. I learned it from Athlon X of thinking of the bottom as being in sprinter's blocks and staying kind of leaned forward, always thinking about driving your hips, making it feel more like a deadlift, as much like a deadlift as you possibly can, to get as much glute activation as you can, because your quads are going to work regardless, but you want to be getting glute activation out of it. And this, I moved the camera because I know what the next exercise is, and we're going to be able to see me on the ground. And I'm touching the weights to the ground, but I'm not resting them on the ground. I'm keeping the tension high and heavy. You see my traps never relax. Neck always flaring like that. Absolutely losing the normal face game. And just tapping it out and finishing at body weight. And experiencing that leg day sadness. And I think it is important to also do like leg hypertrophy. I think guys who have the Dorito on 2 toothpicks body type don't look good to me. I think having big meaty legs makes you look powerful, and it makes you powerful. Strong legs and a strong connection to the ground and strong glutes, if you can incorporate them into every movement of your day, you will move much stronger and better. So, leg days are a responsibility, not a privilege. And you gotta do it. can even see how hard my toe is gripping the ground. How terrible the circulation is in my legs. That's why my legs are so veiny. This is another great time to talk about the timer. This is exactly where rest periods would start getting longer and longer as you zone out more and more. You'd go in too hot and then you'd burn yourself out. Your rests would be too short and then they'd be too long. Whereas with the timer, you never have to think about it, you just set it and obey. Back and then drive my hips forward like I'm coming out of deadlift. With a squat. This week I've been playing Star Wars Battlefront on the PS2. I've finally gotten good at it again, and so I'm gonna maybe go on to Star Wars Battlefront 2 this week. Continue playing mostly on the PS2, and the newest system I own is a PS3. I have a Sega and a Super Nintendo as well. You can even see that my quad is working. You can see it flex right above my knee. I don't have great quads and I don't really care to. I don't want to look imbalanced, but I don't care about looking just big for the sake of big. I think my legs are okay, mass-wise. As my upper body continues to get bigger, we'll see if it ever changes and I want to do some really concentrated hypertrophy. So, another weird exercise, and this one, it is really important. I was thinking about this on the day, if it doesn't read that my hips are lifted the whole time, you gotta remember that the hips are lifted the whole time. You can just cheat this exercise to worthlessness by dropping your hips, so keeping your hips elevated is what makes this deceptively easy looking exercise worthwhile. So you'll see me like trying to just visually let the camera know that my hips are in fact lifted the whole time. And one of the reasons that these are so hard is because typically when we work our hamstrings, we work them at their connection to the glutes, and we don't much work them at their connection to the knee. And so this fries the lower part of your hamstrings. Like, it's much, much closer to the knee where you feel this work, and it's so rare to feel that. But if you want to strengthen your hamstrings, you have to strengthen them at both joints. And if you want bigger hamstrings, having them bigger closer to your knee is going to keep you looking balanced and good. And yeah, these are an absolute killer every time. Do the Undertaker sit-up. So much sitting, staring into space on leg day. Most boring of days. Wandering out of the room, just in search of something better to do. You can do these ham sliders on a kitchen floor as well, just in your sock feet or with your feet on a towel, if you don't have these frictionless pads that I can't remember if I bought these solo or if they came with something like a pull-up bar or something, but I really like these things. I learned this exercise watching people do TRX, and if you have rings, you can also get a good version of this exercise, but having something to drag on the floor is so rich for that part of your hamstring if this works. And it's just about into the last set of the block. And then the last block is the very familiar toes, calves, Bozu crunch and candle. And you're done. Working out is repetitive. And so you have to find enjoyment in it. Like, calf raises are exhausting every time. Like, your calves will always get fried if you do some quick calf raises. And you have to enjoy that. Don't dread it, don't resent it. Don't think it's a chore you have to do to get to some future goal. Feel it working and enjoy the work. That's how you get your 300 workouts a year. That's how you change the way you look year on year after year. I flubbed that motivational speech pretty hard. So much work. I turned so red. You have to try these yourself to understand how hard they are. And it is so important that you keep your hips lifted. It will be way too easy if you drop your hips. Block 2 done. And also, things being repetitive also makes them easier. If you just don't think about the fact that it's repetitive, and like the great thing about working with the timer is you can let your mind wander while you're doing these things. You don't notice that it's repetitive. Like, the worst part about counting reps is counting reps. That's so repetitive because your mind is now doing a repetitive task as well. You can be thinking about anything if you're just obeying the timer. Very enthusiastic beginning to that. I'm a jiggling. I'm just a gigolo everywhere I go. And that I don't go anywhere. I work out in my home and then I'm home all day. Ha 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 ha. Tidying up in the rest periods is always important. Dead air is always important. Staring out the window is always important. Getting a shave and a haircut is always important. Saying that things are important is always important. Glowing torso.
That's how you get spiders in your pussy.
20 minutes left of this. You can leave whenever you want, but I live here. Yep, just trying to have fun and stay focused and be present. If you try these toe dips, you will be fried. 100%. They just destroy the muscles behind your shins. And actually, I learned these as a cure for shin splints. When you're running a lot and you feel like your, quote, shins hurt, it's actually the tibial muscles behind your shins. And if you give them some work, that pain will clear up. That's why I hit these 3 times a week. A lot of Criminal Minds and Gilmore Girls. Watch Criminal Minds and Gilmore Girls every day. No idea how many times I've watched Gilmore Girls through. I love it, and it gets worse every time. Criminal Minds. The bad episodes get worse every time. Even then, I don't know why I'm talking about this. Like, I meant that to be a throwaway comment, but Criminal Minds really is kind of various. Every time you watch it, you'll find appreciation for episodes that you didn't appreciate before. Maybe good episodes you've seen too many times, you know too well, so you won't enjoy them as much. Always worth long rewatches. Whenever I count my tattoos, I always come up with different numbers, because I'm always forgetting one or two of them. Often forget that I have a tattoo on my neck. I'll forget one of the ones on my chest. Some of them it's hard to know if they should be counted as multiple things or not. So the heart you see on my forearm is the logo of my last band, Greystone Gardens. And below that, small on my wrist, I have the Frank Turner Hardcore logo. And I got them done at the same time, but they are technically two different things. The Frank Turner logo isn't part of the Greystone logo. But they were done in the same appointment. And like on my hands, my megaphone and my knuckles were done at two different times, but I always intended them to be part of the same piece. There's a megaphone and my knuckles say "be loud," because I have a tendency not to say what I actually think, to shrink away and make myself small, and to just leave rather than argue, and it has not done me a world of good. sign on the door says chemistry. I've had a chemistry school door sign for years and years and years, and I finally have a door to put it on. This, we can do Bozu crunches and Bozu candlesticks, and then we are done. Already familiar, repetitive, dull exercise to watch and to talk about. What matters most about ab stuff is that if you don't get a good connection going, it's okay, but do try and get one. Don't just rep it out for your number of reps or for the duration that you've set. Really focus on getting a good rep each time and adjust if you need to, go over time if you need to, go over your planned reps if you need to. You want to be approaching failure on any exercise. Abs are no different. You do not train the abdominal muscle differently than you train any other muscle. Stare into space. Oh. Coughing to it. Hopefully one to edit that out. I have to move the clock around so much in this fucking video. Do the spicy noodles. Don't breathe the spicy noodles. That's a look on my face. There's a comment on in every video. My skin is 15 different colors. Being flushed, tanned, pale. Engorged with blood. Varicose. Acne riddled. Their bodies are disgusting. They should be obliterated. Yep, staring into space in the workout and in the commentary. Oh yeah, this is where I start getting ready to take the garbage out after this. Leggy. Butts in the air in the land of hypocrisy. Obviously demonstrating a tremendous amount of control in the lowering phase. I'm trying to keep my glutes engaged, and it's so important on ab work to remember that you don't move your legs, you move your hips. And moving your hips is what causes your legs to move. You're not just bending at the hip flexor, you are moving your hips. You are contracting your abs to move your hips into like a C shape. Everybody everywhere just waiting for this to be over. You can leave. I can't. I have to do this 3 more times. Is that right? 2 more times. I have to film a Tuesday and a Wednesday workout, and then I'm done. This project. And then I'll do it again in a year and do it better with the lessons that I learned from this go around. Last one in 1 minute. And it is kind of crazy that my post-workout thing is a hot bath. So I really keep my temperature high for a long time, but it's really good for my legs and my circulation. And I figure I might as well do it while I'm already hot and need a shower. So just workout, bath, shower. And that's my afternoon ritual. My workouts have faded into the afternoon. When I gave up coffee, I was able to get back in the habit of working out immediately on waking up. And then when I got back on the coffee, I fell back into the bad habit of waiting for the coffee to kick in before I do the workout, which ends up with me just making another cup of coffee, sometimes 3, before I ever get to the workout, and then it's late, and I really should have eaten something, and yada yada yada. I always feel like I've wasted such a huge part of the day by futzing around for 2 or 3 hours or more before hitting my workout and doing all my eating. And signing off. Yeah, punks.
That's how you get spiders in your pussy.